like the enthusiasm, but curb the enthusiasm. Curb the enthusiasm. First off, could you read this, please? Mrs. McMullen.
Grade 2. What are you doing?
What are you doing? I like it. No. This is for the point. When I say this, I come from the southern part of the United States. This is the United States. Does everybody recognize the United States? Here on the globe, United States. I come from the southern part. I sometimes say this a little bit differently. I say, and it's very, very small difference. Listen for it. I'll come up and say, Alberta, what are you doing? I will say, what are you doing? What will you say?
I say, what are you doing?
It's accent.
Actually, you're right. There's an accent, but there's a special thing that comes up in this story a lot.
Diagram.
It has to do with this word. I say, and this is the way we show it. I say doing. Doing. Because I grew up in Texas, and in Texas, we tend to say that with the ing words. What are you doing?
Nothing, like nothing.
Nothing. Exactly. Good. Now, this has a special name. Maybe you've heard this word. This is a really big word. I'm only going to listen to people with their hands up. Diagram. Good guess. G-R-A-M. That fits. But this is to do with language. I have a different something than Mrs. McMullen.
Language.
Okay. I'm going to tell you because maybe you haven't heard this. Dialect. Anybody ever heard that? Anybody ever heard dialect?
We say it dialect in German.
You know it. Dialect in German. Okay. So I have a southern dialect. Now, this story is written by somebody from the south of the United States. So I am going to do my best to read it like a real southerner.
Do they have to say doing in the...
Not only do they have to say it, but you will see, when you see the words, they spell it out this way in the book. So, this is it. And the name of the book is... Here it is. It's hard to read the green lines. Possum Come A Knockin.
Lights?
Lights, please. Mrs. Vimont, you have it. You can see it a little better.
I can see it.
Possum Come A Knockin. And there's a little apostrophe.
Yeah!
So the
knocking! It's like knocking, but it's knocking.
Knocking. Good. Now, I'm going to try and advance this. And this is what I should have done before.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
I could be your person.
Could you press the right arrow over on the keyboard?
I can do it.
Just the right arrow over on the right. Yeah. Here we go. You can see it now. Possum Come A Knockin.
It's like possum come.
No. Today,
knocking.
yeah, and let's look at this. I'm going to explain and maybe translate as we go because there's going to be some things that might not be comprehensible. Today I say, I come into the classroom. Yesterday, I into the classroom. Yes. I came. In the South, some people say, today I come into the classroom. Yesterday, I come into the classroom. They say the same thing. This is part of the Southern dialect. So pay attention for these little unusual things throughout the story. Please, next. Here we go. Possum come a knocking at the door, Possum come a knocking at the door. Who's this?
Grandma.
Granny. And
Kid.
And pointing at, what is this?
Possum.
What's a possum? Anybody know a possum?
Maybe like an animal?
Yeah. Looks like it's some kind of animal. And it looks like that. Possum come a knocking at the door, Possum come a knocking at the door. Next. Granny was a sitting and a rocking and a knitting when a possum come a knocking at the door.
Hey, it gets longer.
It does. And who's this?
Bulldog.
What dog look like he's doing?
Listen,
Here.
who's knocking at the door?
Yeah,
Who's
okay.
kicking at the door?
What about Granny? Does she notice anything?
No.
She's just knitting away. Maybe she's a little hard of hearing.
Yeah.
She can't quite hear.
Yeah, because the granny is too old.
Yeah, in the South we say she's hard of hearing. Okay, next please. Ma was busy cooking in the kitchen, making taters, when a possum come a knocking at the door.
What is tater?
Good
Taters.
question. Taters. I would like some taters with my meat and vegetables. Would you like some? Could I spoon you out some mashed taters?
Yes, please.
What is potato? Potato.
Ah!
Potato.
Would you like some mashed potatoes? They don't say that in the South. They say, would you like some mashed taters with your green beans? Next. Paul was busy fixing and a banging and a pounding when a possum come a knocking at the door. So what would Mrs. McMulkin say here? Fixing. But in the South, we say, Paul was busy fixing and a banging and a pounding when a possum come a knocking at the door. Next. Pappy was a whittling, making play toys for the baby when a possum come a knocking at the door. Pappy was a whittling? A whittling?
Who's Pappy? Who's
Pappy. Oh, good question, Pappy.
He's a grandpa.
Ah, how could you tell? How could you tell? He was a grandpa, yes.
I thought that it's a Pappy.
Pappy? I'd say, yeah. In this story, Pappy is what they call granddaddy. They would say granddaddy or grandpa, but they can say Pappy. Now, what is this thing? A whittling. A whittling. Yes, Max. Whittling. Do you know what whittling is?
No.
Ah. What does he have in his knife? In his hand here. He has this knife in his hand. What's in his other hand?
A thing that he goes cuts.
Yeah. What do you think it's made of? If he's doing something with a knife, making play toys for the baby.
Making play toys.
What's it made of?
Wood. It's like a driver.
Ah, wood. Wood. Exactly. Now, whittling is something you do in the South. And it's a special thing that you do. Mrs. Vimont, can you get that little birdie thing right there? This birdie thing, this is not made of wood, but if this wasn't, this is something somebody could make out of wood by whittling. So you can see it's a very fine art they do with the knife. Usually a pocket knife and a little piece of wood. And this is the kind of thing they would make. In fact, this would be a toy for the baby. Not now, later.
I got that
Thank you.
one. Yeah, me too. And I gotta break it.
Pappy was a whittling, making play toys for the baby when a possum come a knocking at the door. Next. Sis was tossing baby while Pappy was a whittling when a possum come a knocking at the door. Knocking. Everybody know what knocking means?
Yeah.
Everybody, knocking. What does knocking mean, Nicole? Knocking. Like that. Okay, good.
I know. Sister.
Good. Sis. Yes, sister.
Sis is the short.
Tossing baby?
Like holding baby and
Right. Sis was tossing baby while Pappy was a whittling when a possum come a knocking at the door.